right, this is the Psychotic Strength Podcast. This is Tyler Toby Townsend.
And Michael Standard.
So today is, the date is the 18th of September. Sorry we haven't been on here for a little while, but yeah, we got Michael today. So we're going to go over gym update real quick. Gym for me has been going really well. I've also included back in kickboxing again for the past 2 weeks, and I'm going to be coaching strength at Forge Combat and Strength starting in October, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So pretty excited about that. I'm pretty excited to do that at all.
Yeah, that's great.
So what are you doing? Keep yourself sexy.
So I had a client, tell you a little bit about myself. I don't like wearing masks in the gym because it really inhibits my oxygen. So I found a client of mine, her husband, who had passed away, had a whole bunch of free weights, 2 racks, plus a bunch of plates. No Smith machine, but 2 benches, and a huge leg press rack. And so I purchased those from her, gave some to my son. So I have a whole bunch of free weights at home. And my objective, since I'm about 25 years older than you, is just to stay fit. Bulk, no. Fat, no. Just to try to stay fit, and not overexert myself, because I find if I overexert myself, push too hard, my recovery time is 2 or 3 days, or a chiropractor, or a massage therapist, or something, because they don't work like they used to. The legs, the backs, they just don't work like they used to when I was your age.
Well, I'm seeing that even at 32, man. I mean, I've been putting my body through a lot of stress the past, almost 10 years now.
Yeah, you push and pull heavy.
Right. So, I mean, it's catching up. Getting out of bed even is not fun for me.
Yep. I know. I had a great round of about 2 years of Rolf massage therapy, where they go and beat up every tissue you have with their thumbs and elbows, and then your body would regenerate it with water, with the right liquids, and eventually those muscles would start to work correctly. But still, you have the balancing issue of, one left side's pulling too much on the right side, and your back starts to hurt. Sacrum issues, so I try to keep it going. I do, basically I'll do chest one day, about 4 different exercises for my chest with free weights. I will do my shoulders and biceps and triceps one day. I don't push my shoulders too hard, just because there's a lot of irritation. The tendons don't always stay in the groove, so then you feel like you're sore as heck.
They're always hard.
Yeah.
I find my right shoulder always gets hurt, and then once that one hurts, once I'm kind of overcompensating with the other side, and then my left hurts. Mm-hmm. One of them always hurts.
I know.
It's frustrating.
Shoulders are kind of important.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
You got things to do with them, right?
Right.
And the other thing, then of course I'll do my back, and that's easier because I've got a lap machine, and so even this morning I did my pulls and didn't blow myself up. I felt good, and then part of my routine is between those 3 different days, I'll do a break and do a 15 to 20 minute yoga, concentrating on stretching and getting mobility in my hips. It's funny how you can be flexible in one area but not flexible in the other.
Yeah. Like
my hips sitting Indian style, not possible. Can't do it. My hips won't do it. But I can bend over forward and touch my toes easily, right?
Yeah.
So the hamstrings are loose, but the hips are. So that's been very helpful, I think, in the whole process, because I haven't hurt myself. I've been staying healthy. I do push pretty heavy weights and lift pretty heavy weights for who I am. And the other thing is, at the end of those routines, I'll go take a 15-minute sauna.
The sauna, man.
Yeah, oh my gosh, the detox.
Yeah,
I love
the sauna.
And that really, I think that's helped, with all this flu bugs going around and everybody getting sick. I haven't gotten sick. I got the major virus back in 20, right? I got the COVID, whatever they called it, 19 or 20. But I haven't been sick since. So I think part of it is the sauna.
I mean, the sauna just does wonders for your body. You know, it's just, I'd be in there for an hour if I could.
Yeah. If I could stand an hour, I'd do it too. But 15 minutes is about all I can do.
How hot do you put
150.
150. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll cook you.
And it'll drop down to 140 after 15 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
And that's hot. and I come out and stand, and I make the sweat's still pouring off me. There's a puddle.
So from right there, are you going right into a cold shower, or
Yep,
how are you doing?
go right into a shower.
Okay.
And part of the reason I like this sauna, and I found this out when I was a kid, so I used to ride my bike 7 miles one way, which was a long way for a kid when you're 15, 16,
Yeah.
to the gym and come back. Well, they had a sauna there too, a steam sauna. And they had a hot rock sauna. I like the Finnish hot rock sauna best for me because you kind of control it a little bit, right?
Right.
Did you know that you can shave in those and you don't have to use any type of shaving cream or lotion at all because the sweat pouring out of you lubricates your skin? It is the closest shave I've ever gotten in my entire life. So I shave in the sauna. That's why my head's bald. I shave it all the way down. It's amazing.
Huh.
Yep. And the razors, I wouldn't say they last as long, but I can tell you, I never cut myself once.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. So, for shaving wise, I mean, first of all, I need to shave, but second, like I didn't have anybody to teach me how, right? So I ended up just shaving with water,
Yeah, it hurts.
and I've done that since I was a kid, and now like using shaving cream kind of bugs me
Mm-hmm.
because it's just like I can't see what I'm doing.
Right.
So I just shave with water.
Yeah.
That's all I
Hot
use
water.
at all. Yeah, just some hot water,
Yeah.
get it on my face, shave, and then it's constant, right? You're
Mhm.
constantly patting water versus shaving, and my face is just used to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean that's just how I've done it for so long.
It's a dry shave, and a lot of people can do it.
I
It's called
mean,
a dry shave.
I wish I learned the other way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm sure my skin would appreciate it a little better.
Yeah, my brother, who is a Marine, he dry shaves now all the time.
Is that
He said
like
he doesn't use the shaving cream because his body's used to it. Probably your skin's
Yeah.
used to it, just like yours.
yeah? So does that mean he's still using water though, right?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
just to rinse the blade out though.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
doesn't put hot water on his face. Weird. I know.
So he's like dry shaving.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which how they taught him to shave in the field when they were Marines. So.
That's funny. I used one of the other reasons I don't use shaving cream. I tried straight razor, and
Wow, how was it?
I was getting really good at it,
Well,
right? But what ended up happening is you're supposed to use the cream, so I'm like following the thing, but I can't see very well.
mm-hmm.
So I put it all over my cheek, all that, and I like it's a long blade,
Yeah, they are.
and so I hit my cheek, and I'm like, okay, perfect. I didn't realize this thing is so fucking sharp; it just wipes hair off. Right? So I went all my mustache, my goatee, just sliced it right off. And now I look like half Hitler on one side, right? And then like I was like, damn it. So that was one of the times I had to completely shave. I mean, you
Wow.
can't, there's no saving that.
There's no saving it.
And it was pretty interesting. It was just because of the way I had my face. I don't know what happened.
That's fine.
I just didn't see it, you know? And so yeah, I still don't use shaving cream, but I actually don't really shave that often anymore. I usually use, I have like that manscaping thing.
Mm-hmm.
What is it called? The lawnmower?
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, that's
So-
pretty funny.
I just usually just kind of clean it up.
Yeah.
And then the only person who actually shaves me is my hairdresser, like
Yeah.
every couple of weeks.
Oh, good for you.
And so I just keep it trimmed, and she really gets in there.
Yeah.
I don't trust it very many people to cut my hair.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't have any hair left, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But one of the other things I do throw into the routine, which has helped, is I will walk a half mile on my treadmill at 2 to 4 incline.
Okay.
And now that's big for me. I know you're thinking, well, that's hardly anything. Well, you don't realize I could barely run at all, like
Okay.
a year ago. I mean, if I ran, it had to be because someone was chasing me,
Yeah.
because then everything locks up, and my sacrum and the damage I caused to myself over my lifetime wouldn't let go, and I'd be just writhing in pain for days.
Well,
So
I mean,
I'm getting there, and it's wonderful just to be able to walk for a little bit.
yeah. Well,
That's
that's
fun.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I would never.
I bike too.
People
That
who
stationary bike, it works.
the stationary bike, I like that thing too. I'll warm up on it sometimes, or
Yeah.
I'll just walk.
Mhm.
I would never judge anybody for how far or whatever. Like the thing is, a lot of people in the gym are just like some people. Not a lot at the gyms I go to, right? I go to like professional gyms, right?
Mhm.
Like not 24 LA. I don't do that kind of crap anymore. But some people in those kind of gyms, the commercial gyms, will like be making fun of somebody.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know that person's journey.
That's right.
You know, I mean, I was in there. I remember I was in LA Fitness. It was like a couple weeks in LA I spent. So I got like a 2-week free membership, right? And I'm like, fuck yeah, I can still work out. And I go in there, and the first week I'm still kind of nursing an injury.
Mm-hmm.
So a big guy like me, I was like squatting like one plate.
Wow.
And that's the thing is like, and? Like, I mean, you can look at me all day, but by the end of the 2 weeks...
injury, that's a lot.
Right, so I still had to keep the mobility of it and keep it moving and keep those muscles contracting and doing all that stuff just to make sure that I was fine, but I had a plan. And I knew at the end of this whole thing, I'd be able to go back to lifting again. So, and that's the thing, so people don't know where I'm at, and it's none of their fucking business, right? So I'm squatting one plate one week, and I'm sure people are looking at me like, okay... You know, what do you do that 1,000 times, right? My legs were pretty fucking huge. But then the next week I'm back on schedule, and I'm squatting like 500 for sets.
Right.
You know, when people are like gathering around. I saw a couple people recording me.
Wow.
Yeah. And I ended up bending that bar a little bit because I got up to like 650.
Wow.
And, yeah, it was pretty intense. But of course I'm like, I go through the whole thing. I'm wrapping my knees. I'm putting my belt on. I'm doing all this other shit. And that's also the shit that people are like, well, of course he can do it. Look at all the crap he's putting on. I'm like, here's all my shit. Go for it. You know, like, even wrapping your knees is kind of it's its own hardship to do. It's like hard to do. Really keep those things tight. But
I've never had to wrap knees, but you know, I will tell you. Part of the reason the running's a big deal for me, and people who know me are like, "Wow, really?
Yeah,
you're doing that? Good for you." Is because I was I was lifting, I was doing hack squats. It wasn't a lot of weight, probably 350. One or 2 plates on each side.
2 plates on that's 225.
So 225.
Yeah.
So I was doing 225. It wasn't much, and I was just doing sets of 10. And I think on my second set of 10, I thought somebody had just kicked me in the back or threw a plate at me and hit me in the back.
Ouch.
Because I heard two pops. And then the electricity ran down the outside of my legs. And so I had just messed up L3 and L5.
Ouch.
Yeah, they all popped out. And yeah, that was a day, let me tell you.
Man.
Couldn't see straight. I was seeing stars. There was that much pain. So to be able to run half a mile or walk is amazing. I am so blessed to be able to do
That's
that.
good. Congratulations, man. Yeah. That probably took quite a bit of work to even get there.
2 years.
Yeah.
3 almost, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, a lot of massage therapy.
I need to get back into that.
Yeah, there's a few who can do it for you too. And they do it right.
That'd be great. I'd love some, before you leave, let me know.
Yeah.
Because I really need some massages. I mean, my legs are... I'm coaching 2 soccer teams right now. That's tightening up my legs hard, and then I do the kickboxing and lifting and all that other crap. So it's just a lot of stress right now on my legs, and I'm not doing well with it. Yeah. I'm getting old. I'm getting crunchy, is what I call it.
Crunchy?
Know? Yeah, where you're like popping randomly while you're walking. You know?
Oh my gosh.
So I don't need any of that shit.
You know, something else that's helped. You know, whoever's listening to this can believe this or don't believe this. It's up to you. But I use a Kangen water system, Kangen, which changes the pH in the water. Okay, and it goes through a filter, carbon filter, so it filters out the yuck. I didn't think. I had a friend of mine who said, you know, I did it for this, and it helped me with this, and then the person also has his wife has a history of being schizophrenic, and her entire family is schizophrenic. They found that this water, because the pH adjustments, it does adjust your pH in your entire system, which schizophrenia has a problem with that, right? I don't have schizophrenia. I may be an asshole sometimes, but I don't have schizophrenia.
Okay.
And I use this water system, and I just do the usual, you know, try to drink a gallon a day, whatever you're drinking, right? Except for beer. And the hydration is giving my muscles, and recovery time is so fast. Hangovers too.
Really?
Yep. I drink, if I've had too much alcohol, the water helps hydrate very quickly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. No commercial there, but I mean, that seemed to help a lot.
Kangen water. Huh?
Yep.
I'm gonna write that down.
Mhm.
How'd you spell that?
Kangen. Pretty popular. It is a multi-level marketing group. I think they do that too, but I tell you, the people who've used it and have had positive effects, they're major positive effects.
Yeah.
I know another person, they had hemorrhoids, had hemorrhoids for years. And hemorrhoids are part of your your pelvic floor giving way and not being strong enough and all that stuff. Also, it's muscle conditioning too.
Yeah.
It's not just because, right? And they started doing the water, and within a week they were gone.
Whoa.
Plus, they were working out, doing a routine, but the hydration in their muscles was that they were able to overcome that, and then the hemorrhoids basically pulled back. Just part of it's part of your intestinal wall. That's what those are. I'm not going to get into that.
No, that's fine. I have a friend who his wife has been dealing with that for fucking ever.
Yep.
Couple surgeries they're not taking. Like it's getting real bad.
Yeah, that is bad with surgeries when you got to go that route. Oh my gosh.
I mean, his wife.
I'm cringing right now just thinking about it.
She's been dealing with it for years.
Yeah.
And the thing is like she's got 3 kids. It's just a rough process. I'm glad she's getting it taken care of.
Yeah.
I just got to call them and see how they're doing. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, you got it.
But let's get into the while we're here. So Michael Standard, he's a loan officer.
Yep.
I want to get a little bit of background about like who you are, what you're about. Okay, we'll put a couple minutes on that.
We'll stick with the business side.
Doesn't got to be too in depth. Yeah, go wherever you feel comfortable. And then you really want to talk about reverse mortgages, and I want to find out kind of the gist of what a reverse mortgage is, like how they work, all that other stuff. And then I was pretty happy when I asked you about some of the downsides. You said there are a few, and that's the thing is I wouldn't have probably believed you as much if you had tried to sell me on this is no downside to this, like there's a downside to literally everything.
Yeah.
There's give and take. So let's hit that. So who are you? What are you about?
So I'm Michael Standard. I live in Vancouver, Washington as well. And I'm expanding the business. So we're also in Dallas, Fort Worth, and Houston. We have an affinity for Texas. Don't ask me why, but I always have. And there's a lot of business down there too. If you don't mind driving 50 minutes everywhere you go, it's a great place.
Yeah.
And so I have 3 great kids, and I'm married to Julie. I've been married for almost 33 years. My background was I was a financial planner. I was really a financial planner in the bank channel, and very successful at it actually. I wasn't good at the politics though. Partly probably because I was raised by loggers a long time ago.
Loggers,
right? Yeah.
Nice.
So I know how to cuss and run a chainsaw. Yeah.
Okay.
So
and swing an axe, right?
Yeah, swing an axe. Yep,
There
I
we
can
go.
do all that stuff and do a lot of stuff that you would be surprised at looking at me. But I can even run heavy equipment.
Oh, nice.
Run a bulldozer and all that fun stuff. But in the end, I switched and went in from a financial advisor to selling software in the industry to financial advisors, to broker-dealers and banks. So we would sell $1 million systems, and I'd fly all over the country, and it was fun. Part of it, though, here's something I want to bring this out, is the first software company I went to after brokerage, they sold software to broker-dealers, but the guy, I'll call him my sales assistant, which is kind of what he was, the business analyst, and he helped me with all the clients. His name was Jason. And he actually runs a company I work for and owns a company I work for, yeah. So he went off into mortgages. He's about your age, and I stayed in the brokerage industry. And he called me one day and said, hey, I want you to come and test this out. I said, test what out? I said, I'm wholesale. I said, well, what does that mean? He said, well, there's no managers taking a bunch of overrides, so it's better for the client, less costs. And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, where you're at, I won't say the name, I was in a retail environment, the internal cost is about 4%.
Right, this is lending.
Yeah, lending, this is
lending,
mortgage. Yeah. On a mortgage, it's about 4% on retail.
Okay.
If you go wholesale, there's only about 2% fees. Okay. That's a big
That sounds
difference.
nice.
Half, right?
Yeah.
So if you're buying a $500,000 home, you're talking 20,000 retail, 10,000 wholesale. So your costs are a lot lower when you work with wholesalers. And of course, everybody's got their favorite mortgage broker. I get it. I'm not going to try to sway everybody to come to wholesale. But we do give a lot of advantages to our clients, and also interest rates are lower because we don't have to mark it up. So I papered a deal, and we just ran it through an example, and the client was needing in retail to come up with $72,000 to knock out their existing mortgage because they had to retire. They're being forced out. We looked at the wholesale numbers. They only had to come up with $58,000. So I switched my license the next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can help more people. Because if you can get them a better deal, you can help more people.
Right.
Yeah. So that's kind of my background. That's why I went into it. And I love it's not a reverse mortgage anymore. It's called a home equity conversion mortgage, or HECM. Okay.
Okay. HECM.
HECM. And that's one of the things I tell my clients is that, you're talking about the old product. That's not what we're talking about today. In 2017, when Trump got in office, he did a couple crazy things. One of them was he put people who were not politicians in places of authority. Ben Carson, okay, used to be a neurosurgeon, neonatal neurosurgeon, famous, writes books all over the place, right? And he has some Think Big books and some great books. But he was put in charge of HUD, HUD, Housing and Urban Development. He was a head of mortgages, basically, right? And he said, we need to change this reverse mortgage because we need seniors not to go on Medicaid. Okay, Medicaid is nursing care,
Right.
right? It's for out of pocket, right? It's not, and people will confuse it with Medicare. Medicare is for your medications and your doctor and your nurses. Medicaid is to pay for the nursing care facility. Okay, that's what that's for. So Ben Carson said we need to change this loan so seniors can age in place in home care. Use their equity out of their home instead of using the government. Okay, and they made a whole bunch of changes. One was it's a forced insurance on it, mandatory insurance. The insurance covers the loan in case the house is upside down or the loan's higher than the house can be sold for. Right? So a $300,000 loan, you can only sell the house for $200,000. Federal government forced insurance on that, so now they eat the loss with that insurance. That's how that works.
Okay.
Kids try to sell the house, same issue, no problem. The insurance is on there, so they made it safe. Because in California in 2008, with $1 million homes becoming $300,000 homes, and their loan balance is really high, people were filing for bankruptcies, right, going to foreclosure.
Right.
So with this product, they don't have to. The other thing is you can't take all your money out. You can't take it all at once. It's based on your age. So at 62, when you could start to do a regular home equity conversion mortgage, all the way to 150. Okay, nobody's that old anymore, I think. Right. That's the people who look at though.
Yeah, there's a few.
So with that product, then basically now they're saying you can only take a percentage of your equity out based on age. So at age 62, you can get about 40% of your equity. At 95, about 75% of your equity. Okay?
Interesting.
So they let you take out more equity the closer you are to the grave because they don't want it to go upside down.
Right.
Right. The interest rates are about 0.5% to 1% lower. Okay, and they adjust every year. That's one of the products. But the other change that they made was now you keep title to your home. No bank owns it. It's an FHA lien now on the house.
Interesting.
Kids have 12 months to sell it when you pass away, or you can sell it at any time, and you just have to pay off the lien, right? But you don't have to make mortgage payments. Yeah, you heard me right. You don't have to make mortgage payments. This is a government loan where they're allowing seniors not to make payments unless they want to. But now they're letting them make payments if they want to. That's the other change. So you've got a product where at 62, if you have more than 50% equity in your home, okay, and you want to retire or claim you want to retire, you can actually do the new home equity conversion mortgage. The government will pay off your loan. Okay. You'll have the same loan balance, but you don't have to make the mortgage payments.
Unless you feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Unless you feel like it. And any money you take out, or any money, also there's a line of credit feature, where if you have extra equity, let's say my house is paid off, let's say it's a $100,000 house, we'll make it easy, and I'm age 70, so I get $50,000 of my equity. I can leave that equity in the line of credit and not even spend it. Okay, and the line of credit earns interest like a money market account, and you can take it out tax free.
Wow.
Yeah, that is a good long-term care plan. A lot of financial advisors use that for long-term care because their clients can't qualify for it because they're too sick or it's too expensive or out of their budget. So that is why this product, home equity conversion mortgage, has changed so much. And did you realize you can purchase with these two? As a real estate agent, I know we've talked about this in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you work with any downsizers?
Yeah. Yeah,
So tell me about their situations, and I'll kind of give you a scenario.
So I have one client that is coming down from a 3,000 square foot house. They've had it built out in Camas, and they've had, I believe it's 3 kids, maybe it was 4, but like the youngest is just finishing up college and getting married.
Yeah.
They don't need a 3,000 square foot house.
Right.
3 levels. It's actually 2 levels with a daylight basement, so 3 levels, and. They're just not, they don't want to anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're looking for around like 1,600 square feet.
Yeah.
Really going downsize,
Right.
So I believe they own their house completely outright.
Mm-hmm.
They're definitely in their 60s, if not in 70.
Yeah. So here's the scenario. Let's just say that, what do you think the house will sell for?
Oh man, I want to say 9, if not $1 million.
So let's just use $1 million. It's easy
million.
for me to calculate.
There we go.
And they're going to move into probably a 400. If it's going to be really swanky, $500,000 smaller home, right?
They're fine with up to 700.
Right. And builders love this because builders love this loan for seniors because seniors can get all those little niceties that they were never able to afford with kids.
Right.
Like they can get the better countertops, a better floor, and a better wall covering. So they like that. So in that situation, that client, now interest rates have changed a lot, so I can't just use a 50% ratio, I'll say 60%. So a $500,000 home, 60% of that is, let's just say it's $300,000. They can come up with $300,000, which is not right. Let me get the correct figure here. I've got the little pocket calculator. So they have to come up with $252,000 approximately. I'm just thinking this in my head. $500,000 home, 252. So a little over half, right down. That's it. So if you sold their house for $1 million, they have after fees, rough number, they're gonna have about $600,000 in the bank.
Yeah.
Left for retirement. Instead of cashing out my house, owning it outright, that's air quotes. I'm doing air quotes, guys.
Yeah.
So those people couldn't take advantage of that if that fits their financial plan. So an example of another downsizer, good friend of ours sold their home, and the couple had a new home built in Ridgefield. And they talked to me because their real estate agent suggested they talk to me. They have medical issues. One of them has Alzheimer's. Okay.
Ouch.
So they needed to be able to take care of the person who has Alzheimer's in a single level home and have the money to do it because when you get older you just don't have the energy. And so they were able to sell their house for about $600,000, bought a $440,000 home for $220 down, okay, and now have all that money in the bank for their care. And they have the house they want. It looks like, I call them Instagram houses.
Oh, yeah.
Really fancy on the end. It looks great, like nobody lives in it, right?
Yeah.
So it fit their financial plan really well because they needed the asset in hand and not pay off a home and then take out a HELOC, home equity line of credit, against it, right? And have bills to pay. They couldn't afford more bills because they knew it's going to get expensive.
Yeah.
And so that happens a lot. And I see downsizers who use this loan too, where one of them passes away and they can't continue to live in the big house, right?
Yeah.
2-story home or take care of the yard. And these people, sometimes they wait till they're in their 70s. They don't, who knows when your spouse is going to pass away or whatever, but a lot of them, one of my clients did the same thing. She went and bought a condo from a really nice, about almost 2,700 square foot house with a big yard. I mean, great for kids, and that's what they had it for. And now she downsized, and she was able to purchase and keep some money in the bank. Because also, remember, your mom and dad, one of them is earning Social Security, sometimes one of them earns more than the other. And when the one who earns the most, let's call it, say dad earns $2,500 in Social Security a month, when he passes away, mom gets a step up, but she doesn't get all of his Social Security. So if she was earning, $1,500, she's going to get a bump up. There's a calculation.
So like $2,000 or something?
Yeah, but now she's, has less income. And if they had fixed expenses, right? Internet, TV, mortgage payment, all that crazy stuff, right? Those don't go down. Her food budget goes down because there's only one person, right?
Right.
But her fixed expenses don't go down. So it's a really good planning tool for these people. And when I talk to these seniors, I send them to the government website, and I'm going to repeat it twice, HUD.gov, 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 and search the word HECM, HECM, HECM. It'll give you all the facts. You don't have to talk to me about it. But they do, they read it, they come back with one statement. Usually the first statement they say, it sounds too good to be true.
Yep.
I said, well, this is probably the only loan where they're trying to help you stay off of Medicaid, because Medicaid costs the government more. $690 billion, that's with a B, in Medicaid debt today. And that's just federal, that's not state. So that's about 1.5 million homes that are going to be sold this year by the government, for the government, to pay the Medicaid bills off. Because something that everybody who's listening to this, especially if you have parents, you may know it, but they may know it, but this is something to really pay close attention to. If you do not have long-term care insurance, and if you do not have $200,000 or more in assets that you can spend, okay, brokerage, stocks, bonds, whatever, savings accounts, when you try to leave the hospital with a broken hip and you have to go somewhere, like a nursing care facility, you have to prove you have long-term care at $200,000. If you can't prove it, you can't show it, then they make you sign away your house. It's called Medicaid attachment. Medicaid then attaches your home. So to pay for your nursing care.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's how it works. Since 2008, since Obamacare was instituted, that's now what happens. So your parents will usually lose their home to Medicaid. You will get no equity. And the statement I get from seniors is, oh, I want my kids to inherit my home. I want them to leave them something. I want to leave them some money.
Well, you're not going to be able to do that with Medicaid.
You can't do that with Medicaid. So 70% of seniors go to a nursing care facility. It's proven. Okay, 25% of them can pay for it.
25%?
Have enough money and assets to pay for it. The rest of them don't.
So they all just lose their childhood homes.
45, all the homes go right to the government. And as a realtor, the thing you need to realize is every client of yours can potentially be 5 to 7 referrals, because they have 5 to 7 people in their sphere they want you to help. You can potentially help. Well, when that house goes away, and mom goes away to the nursing care, and Medicaid takes the house, the kids aren't going to inherit anything, so there's no more business for you. So if the home equity conversion mortgage is in place, okay, Medicaid can still be attached to the home, but the kids get the home first. The kids sell the home and keep the equity if they want to. The Medicaid bill is not their bill. So it's sometimes advantageous. All of my lawyer friends say the best thing a senior can do is get a home equity conversion mortgage, because it's the easiest part of planning. Then the trust, and the irrevocable trust, and all the other things that protect your assets from liens and from people suing you, essentially.
Yeah.
So this product is really beneficial there. It really helps. And, let's talk about who these are right for.
Yeah, so like what happens if the spouse is younger?
So if the spouse isn't 62, that's a really good question, because there's a lot of that now. And I got a guy across the street from me who's 82, I think, and I think will be his third Vietnamese nurse, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. She's in her 40s. She lives in the house. And what a terrible way to die, though, right? And that happens all the time. So I just did a deal not too long ago where he's 64 and she was 54, and they did their new home equity conversion mortgage, to knock out the mortgage so they could take that extra money in their budget and put it in their Roth IRA. So
Okay.
they're starting to build up their Roth. They quit putting money into their 401k. They put it into a 401k Roth 401k at work. So now they're working on tax-free income. Knock out their mortgage. Now she's 10 years younger than him, right? She doesn't qualify, but she's listed as a non-borrowing spouse. Okay. So she can live in the home, or she can live out of the home even. Okay. But when he passes away, if she is still in the home, and she's not 62, she can live in it until she reaches 62. She just needs to refinance it and get her name on the loan at 62. Okay, so she can live in there as long as she wants till she passes away too. And then whatever debts accumulated on the loan, remember they leave about 50% of their equity in the home, or based on your age, right? So when she passes away in her 80s, probably, the stepson will inherit it, and he'll sell it. And there'll be equity in it. He'll keep the equity. So that works. I've even done it with children who are living in the home. Mom's 92. Son is 71. Son is kind of handicapped. He has some issues. And so we've done the loan. He can now live in the home until he passes away too. And he's just a son. You can do it with roommates. I did it with a couple who they're not married. They've been living together for 8 years, and the person's facing a medical issue. And so they have MS, and they wanted to be able to knock out the mortgage, not have to worry about the mortgage for either one of them if something happened to either one of them. And then she wants the house passed to her children. She wasn't on the loan originally, but she put money into the house. Okay,
Right.
so that's her equity, and she wants that equity to go to the kids. Her financial advisor suggested for Medicaid planning to do the home equity conversion mortgage, and it's great for them. They are so happy. No, they have $1,000 back in their budget because all they have to pay is their property taxes and homeowners insurance. But it works for people who aren't married too. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So, who can? So, okay, real quick. So, if the person's older and the other person's younger, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that person who's older dies, do they have to refinance immediately, or can they live out and still work on that program that you have already on the home?
They can, exactly.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. I was a little confused on that part.
At 62, it's best if they get on the loan, because by that time there's probably a lot of equity built up again. The house is probably appreciated in value. Then they can bump more money into their line of credit if they refinance it and put it in their name.
That's smart. Okay.
Then they can control it too. See, the one thing the non-borrowing spouse cannot do is they cannot sell the home.
They can't sell the
Because they're
home.
not on the loan contract.
Well, then who
With
can
FHA.
sell the home then?
Well, the guy who owned it, he was on the contract because he was over 62. He could have sold the home.
Okay, but say he died now.
Well, that's why she needs to get on the loan at 62.
That's why she
So
refinance.
she can refinance it, so she can sell it if she wants to.
Okay.
So it's a little complicated, but the reason why they've done that, and they did that a long time ago, was to be able to keep people in the home who need to be there, right? So, you have your son who's 65 and you're 85, right? Well, your son has no place to go and he's taking care of you. So they want them to be able to stay there too. And non-borrowing spouses, which sometimes means dad's in the care home, nursing care, and mom's still at home. He's a non-borrowing spouse, non-resident, because he's not in the house. He's in the care home. But they're still both on title sometimes. So
Yeah.
I'll get into that. There's some wicked details around elder law, but I'm not going to get into that. It takes too much
Elder
time.
law.
Yeah, it's when you hit the skids and you don't have long-term care and a lot of other things taken care of, and somebody has to go to a care home. That's really what it comes down to.
That's that whole 70% need to go,
Mm-hmm.
25% can afford it.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well, so you're getting a lot of business from financial advisors then.
Yeah, and insurance agents.
Insurance.
Some with lawyers. I mean, a lot with lawyers too. Some, but their cases. It's just every case is different with a lawyer. Just like every financial planner is different. I just got going to go see somebody. His mom, financial planner, referred me to a gentleman he's helping his mom, and she's running out of money. She's 93. Imagine that. Yeah, you're going to run out of some money, right? So we're going to be able to knock out the HELOC that they put on the house, home equity line of credit. Get rid of that because that's costing them money, right? Because you have to make payments, and then just use the home equity conversion mortgage, the new reverse mortgage, to have a line of credit, and they'll just pull money out as they need it. He said, "Oh, there's a couple bills we can't cover right now. There's about $500. We'll just pull that out as we need it." I said, "Perfect. That way your debt doesn't go up, because anytime you pull out of the line of credit, it becomes part of the loan."
Okay.
So if you don't do it, then you have less of a loan, and that means more equity to the kids. That's sometimes good, right?
Yeah. So is credit and all that other stuff still involved in all this?
Yes, good question. Credit is involved. Here's how it works. I think the newest rules are if you have more than two 30-day, two 90-day, or two 120 in the last 2 years, then they're going to ask why. Because the federal government doesn't want to give away money.
Of course.
And this is a loan where you actually they're giving you free money. You don't have to pay it back till you sell the house. So no payments, and sign me up, baby.
Right, right.
So if they have damaged credit or if they haven't paid their property taxes, okay, and there wasn't a good reason why, the government will say we can't do this loan unless you have a chunk of change you can set aside for the escrow. We'll escrow all the future projected property taxes and homeowners insurance. It's called a LESA, L-E-S, life set aside. Okay, so they set aside what they assume is their lifespan. I'll give you just an example. I had a client. She lived way out in Carlton, and she wanted to move to her family and friends in Salem, and she hadn't paid her property taxes for 2 years in a row because she said the mailbox got damaged. Right? Somebody broke into the mailbox. And I said, "That's strange." "Yeah." I said, did you file a police report?" I asked her. She says, "No." I said, "Well, how did you manage this?" "Well, then eventually I just realized I needed to pay my taxes." I said, "Didn't you realize your taxes are due every November?" She said, "Oh, yeah." I said, "Why didn't you pay them?" "Because I hate the government."
Because I hate the government. Is that not a good reason? Like, I mean, I feel like that could be a good reason.
I think it's a great reason.
Right, there you go.
But it doesn't pencil. So
right.
Out of her home sale, they set aside $26,000 for future property taxes and homeowners insurance. If she passes away, it goes to the equity side. If she doesn't use it, or if she refinances after 2 years, proving she's paid her taxes on time, then that's her money, goes back to her line of credit. So there are some issues, and they have been denying people who don't have good reasons for having really bad credit.
Yeah.
And I've had loans fall out because when they now require that extra set aside, sometimes it blows up the loan because now there's not enough equity to knock out the mortgage.
Right.
So, because they have to use it for taxes and insurance. That is interesting. Most people will qualify, and the reason why is because you just have to prove you have fixed income, some income on a regular basis that doesn't force you to eat dog chow or cat food. I mean, you have to be able to pay your bills. Okay.
Right.
If not, then you should be going on to a different program.
Right.
Right. So this has been a program where it's worked out very well for a lot of clients. I'm working with a lady right now down south in Texas. She has 3 years of back property taxes, and Texas is pretty generous. They don't force people out. The county doesn't foreclose on them right away. Up here, 2 years, you're out, right? They're going to foreclose on you. So we're going to be able to knock out her back taxes because it shouldn't be a problem, and she has enough equity to set aside for future taxes, so she doesn't have to worry about that. And she'll have a little bit of money too, because she wants to help her grandkids finish college. That's where all her money went to. She's helping them with tuition.
Nice.
Yeah, very generous person.
Yeah.
But she, doesn't want to lose her house, and they eventually will take it. So the county will take it for back property taxes.
Well, can you use this program and say, now this is just money mindset kind of stuff. Like, can you use that line of credit or whatever like that to purchase another home?
You can do whatever you want with the money.
Really? So there's no regulations on that?
Nope. It is your money. And, I've had clients who take out a little. I've had clients who take out a lot. I have clients who have went and invested it. it's their money. They can do whatever they want with it. I can't control that, and that's not my job to control it. So I do know people who've had the line of credit and they've used it for purchasing another home where they want a nice place. A lot of people go down south, right?
Yeah.
So
Snowbirds.
yeah, snowbirds. So they'll do something. One cute couple, they wanted to add on to their trailer that's down in Yuma, Arizona, right? They wanted to add on a bigger sunroom. Like, sunroom? Are you kidding me? More sun?
Yeah.
But they did, and that was a really, really good deal for them. I had another client, you'll like this, they were in Yakima, Washington. And they always wanted to go there, from Beaverton to Yakima. So they sold their house in Beaverton, had enough cash to purchase in Yakima, and then built up the line of credit and went added on to, went and bought someplace else that they wanted to go to. I don't know where California is. Maybe it's Palm Springs or Palm Desert. So then they pulled that money back out, using their line of credit on their reverse mortgage, home equity conversion mortgage, and bought another house.
Man,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Palm Springs is hot.
Yeah. I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
Not my favorite.
I've been there one time, middle of summer, and we had to run from the car to inside. Like, it was so... I've never been hit with heat like that in my life.
It's something, isn't it?
It was crazy.
Yeah.
That's an ungodly amount of heat.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy.
So let me throw something else out. This is an FHA government loan, right?
Yeah.
And so you do have to qualify. The house has to qualify with FHA standards. So it cannot be a trailer in a trailer park.
Okay.
It can be up to a fourplex. Okay. So imagine that. You decide for your retirement plan, you're going to sell your big home, buy a fourplex, place you want to live. You only have to be in the house 6 months out of the year to call it your primary residence, but that's where your taxes need to be paid, your primary residence. So you could rent out the other three sides. You don't have a mortgage payment. I could live in a fourplex, live in one unit, rent out the other three as cash flow to me.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
That's smart. That's really smart.
Yeah, pretty cool deal.
Yeah.
And I run into a lot of folks, and I just had a conference call with their children. Their children are probably my age, and they're in their 70s. And the kids asked questions like, "Oh, I've heard it's a terrible loan." I said, "Did you review the HECM website first? The HUD website, and search HECM?" "Yeah, I did. But there's still a lot of bad news." I said, "Yeah, I know, but what'd you think about the loan? It looks perfect. There's nothing wrong. It seems to fit my mom and dad's situation where one of them passes away. They don't have to move in with us."
Right. Yes.
Because they can still stay there. Because now the mortgage is knocked out, and mom will be able to stay there on her income. Because remember, when one of the spouses dies, if they're all receiving Social Security, that's going to go down or up. You can't, they know if they've done some planning. But usually one income is not a good way to go.
Right.
Unless everything's paid off. So for them, it was a boon, and they're really excited because now we've got the opportunity. And it is something that I always say to my clients, and I'll say to you, you need to think about this. This is part of your financial plan. Will this help you live a better life in retirement with more cash flow? And if it won't, don't think about it. But think about this. If you could increase your monthly income by using your equity, put it in let's say, an annuity, or you decide you're going to put it in a bond, or whatever you choose, okay? Or you don't invest it, you just pull it out as you need it. That's increasing your cash flow. And you're using your home that you're not going to take with you to the grave, right?
Right.
And now it's sheltering it from Medicaid, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Medicaid sounds like a shitty product at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people are facing cancer right now. A lot of people are facing cancer and strokes and heart attacks, and it's very expensive. And one of the things that I find, there's a hole in this product, okay? And the hole is this. It doesn't work for everybody. Of course, it's obvious, right?
Of course. Right.
But two is that if you do this loan and pass away right away, like within a year, you've refinanced it. You've added 2 to 3% cost to your home, to the loan. So that's a negative.
Okay, so we're talking about the negatives now.
Yeah,
okay.
the negative in that is, if I refinance my house with Bank of America, regular forward mortgage, I have to make payments. They add money to my loan costs, right? because they load all that in there. So let's say they jack it up another $10,000. I have to pay on that. Well, if you do the home equity conversion mortgage and pass away, there's debt now that's increased on your home or on your other loan. If you had a loan we knocked out,
Yeah.
a regular mortgage loan that you're making payments on, we knock it out. Well, we're adding fees internally. Okay, that's that's not a lot of fun. It's an FHA loan. The other kind of caveat that's difficult is it's an FHA appraisal as well. Those are very stringent, as you're well aware.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Those are definitely those are pass or fails right there.
Yep.
You know, and there's a few things in there that have to be
Like what?
like water heater strap down, carbon monoxide,
Right.
Smoke detectors. It has to be livable.
Yeah.
Immediately. Like there is no, oh well, we can fix that to make it that way. No, it has to be livable right now.
Right.
And that means your flooring, your siding, your roof, your plumbing, your electrical has to be in working good condition now.
No hazards, right?
No
Physical
hazards.
hazards.
Yeah.
No hazards, and that's important. They do make some exceptions with the home equity conversion mortgage. They will sometimes finance, if there's enough equity in the home, finance the repairs down the road.
Okay.
We get a lot of call outs for paint, peeling paint, right?
Right.
VA loans and FHA loans is a big deal because of weathering of the home, especially here, right? So sometimes they'll let us paint later in the year, not in December, they'll wait till the summer.
Okay.
Oftentimes you have a roof repair, same thing, or let's say the flooring's bad and there's a trip hazard. They'll make you repair the trip hazard, or you have to prove you've got the contract in hand from the contractor, get the bill in hand. They need to see the bill, and that you can go to work after the loan closes and they'll fund it. Okay. Sometimes that works, but FHA, it's difficult and it's costly. The FHA appraisals are $700 to $1,000.
Oh yeah, each one. Yeah.
Oof.
I've had to do multiple in one.
Yeah, and sometimes we can load it into the loan,
Yeah.
so there's no cost. But that's the other downfall. If the house doesn't appraise for the right amount, because it's an FHA appraisal, it's really strict. It blows up the loan. So don't die right away, and be aware that it's an FHA appraisal process, and those are difficult and challenging.
Okay. And how much with this product are you running into? Parents are all in, super excited. Kids are like, hell no.
Well, there's always greedy people in this world, and sometimes we do run across those kids.
Right. And so that's what that would be.
That's probably about 2 or 3%. And there's one that wasn't a greedy child. This was a very interesting process. Oh, by the way, before we close out here, they have to take counseling to qualify for this loan. They have to prove to an FHA counselor over the phone, it's a counseling session, dialogue, that they understand the loan, how it works, that they have to pay property taxes, homeowners insurance, and that they're mentally and physically, that they're okay, right?
Yeah, that you're not taking advantage of them.
Yeah, exactly. I love that part.
Well, yeah, I sold security systems, and we had to do a call at the end.
Yeah.
You understand you're getting into a contract. You understand it'll be this much. And
Right.
like we had to end up doing that. That was like 2 years in too before they started doing those.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good for those people.
Right.
You know, and if you're concerned about that call, maybe you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like that's how I worked when I was doing all that crap. But
Easiest way I like to say is you can't be sold this loan. You have to qualify for it.
right, that's good.
Yeah, it is great. So I've had a client where the child, this was that one interesting one where it wasn't greed. A lot of them it's, oh no, Mom, we're going to help you. Don't worry about doing the loan. Mom, we're going to help you. And they don't help her. I was in a client's house where she had a regular AC unit in the home, right? HVAC. House was cool. It had broken. And during this summer when it was so darn hot, right? And she had a unit in the window. And I was going out to see her, and I noticed that. I said, wow, what happened to your AC? Oh, it's broken. I don't have the money to fix it. And I said, well, you're a smart person. I said, your kids told you they would help you, right? They didn't want you to do this loan, but you called me up because you have some more questions. And so they said they're going to help you, so make them help you. Make them pay for that because you don't have the money for it. Why should you have a window unit and only be able to sleep in one room? You know, you're in your 80s. Your kids are, they're semi-retired. They should be able to help you. Oh well. So I run into that a lot where the kids are just greedy. I'm sorry. Or they're ignorant. They don't want to take the time to learn how this loan works for seniors. Okay, that happens.
Right.
But I did have one client who she actually wanted her parents to go into the care home.
Okay.
Because she didn't want them to do the loan and stay in the home. The home was okay. It wasn't great. They were a little bit of hoarders. And she just wanted them out of the house into a better place.
Sometimes that's better.
Yeah, and it was better for them. I think the insurance agent wasn't real happy about it because they had long-term care. And they had defaulted on it. They hadn't made their last 3 months' payments. So, it was tough. So they were going to have to go into a Medicaid facility because they basically canceled their regular long-term care. So, yeah.
Yes.
But the daughter was just happy that they were getting out of the house. So that was a strange one.
Interesting.
Understandable though, right?
I guess, yeah. Under the right circumstances, I think any situation could be understandable.
Yeah.
Whether it's still the right move or not, that's again another question.
Yeah. So I will say, so those are the two negatives, and sometimes we run into kids who are just selfish, and that's okay. I mean, that's life, right? But I want to explain to your listeners, if you have parents or grandparents or aunts or uncles who are over 62, send them to the website or educate yourself on the website, the HUD website, because you realize that, again, 70% of everybody hurts themselves and goes eventually to a nursing care facility. They don't get to die at home. Rarely do they, if they get lucky. And the nursing care facilities, we're getting more and more of them. Why? Because there's more and more people who can't afford in-home care. So this tool, the home equity conversion mortgage, was based on the theory of age and place. Stay at home. Have a caregiver come in a couple hours a day. Take care of the things you can't take care of, right? That is something everybody needs to think about. Their parents or aunts and uncles who are that age need to know about this, and you'll get the knee-jerk reaction, oh, the reverse mortgage is a piece of crap. They're terrible. It's not a reverse mortgage anymore. It's called a home equity conversion mortgage, completely different product.
Okay.
People need to know. You need to share this information with those folks. Challenge them. Challenge them. They'll say it's a terrible loan. Well, why is it terrible?
Yeah, explain it to me. Yeah.
Why do you think it's terrible? Well, did you hear Aunt Bob, Aunt Susan's uncle, 3 generations back, lost his home to Bank of America. They locked the doors and kicked him out. Yeah, that was the old loan. It's not the new loan. That's how it used to happen. The bank would sell it because the bank owned it. Now, FHA HUD will sell it, okay, if the kids don't take the property. But the kids have 12 months to sell it now. Long time.
Yeah, that's quite a bit. Yeah.
And it helps them. We want the equity to go to the kids if it doesn't, if they don't use it for care.
Well, and that's the thing. That's where you can tell you're looking out for the people, because the parents want that too.
Yeah.
And they're probably upset. I mean, how many years did they work for that home and work on that home, and maybe even those kids grew up in that home, and then you're just going to take it? Like, that's...
Yeah, I've been in the same house since 2007, and remodeled almost all of it myself with help from my wife, of course. She did some of the fun stuff like demo.
Yeah.
But she's a great tiler. She's tiled everything. She's a wonderful tiler. But I can't imagine from 2007 to 2022 today. I can't imagine selling that house or leaving it. So many good memories. It's got all the parking I need. It's got all the storage finally I need. And I got to move.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time too. I mean, I've had mine since 2008, and it is a lot of work. Like, all the tile in the kitchen, all the tile in the entire house. I put in the hardwood floors hand by hand, like piece by piece,
stick by stick. Huh?
Yeah, man, that shit sucked. But it looks amazing. It's still holding up. I mean, I need to sand it and redo it, sure. But like,
you have pets? Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Me too. $4,000 floor destroyed by a 200-pound dog.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too, is like, it's just so many memories. I mean, my kid was born and brought into that house.
Yeah.
My oldest, he's in high school now,
right?
And so like, it's just crazy, like, to think about that. What if I just keep that house? That was the thing too. So we've moved out a couple times, like moved to like University Place over by like Tacoma and a few spots, and we just rent it out and it's fine. But like, I don't know. I've tried to sell it a few times, but I could never put it on the market.
Yeah.
I've even had like pictures taken. I've had the full home cleaning. It was like $800 to have them come through and clean my whole house, and then I decided against it, and it was pretty crazy. But I get it, and that's the thing too. You want to, like, what if my kids had a chance to live there?
Mm-hmm.
I retire, let them live there. You know what I mean? Like that's a big deal for me.
It is a big deal, and there was a study that they did. They asked the children, "Would you want to inherit your parents' home and live in it?" 95% of them said they would not. They would rather sell it and take the equity. They don't want to live in the old house.
Yeah, so I guess there's all those old memories, right?
Yeah. So
growing up sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, being an adult is pretty interesting, though.
In that whole process, I get it. So we're here to help these people with the home equity conversion mortgage, help them understand how to use it correctly and how to qualify. And really, it's just a financial planning tool. And the bottom line is, if it can make your cash flow in retirement better, why not?
Well, and it always blows my mind to where anyone calls me, wants to do an interview with me, or like recruiting, or even just business proposition, right?
Mm-hmm.
I always listen.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't you? That's insane,
mm-hmm.
right? Like, so if anybody's out there listening and they're even thinking about this, look into it.
Yeah.
What's the worst that's going to happen where you're going to find out it's not a good fit for you?
Yeah. Get the education.
Right. At least now you know what to do. Maybe later in life it will be.
Right.
So, I mean, getting that information is fantastic. Info, knowledge is power, right?
Yeah,
it always has
power.
been.
And you realize in the state of Washington, they instituted that new long-term care tax, that half a percent tax, not even a full percent, 0.5% tax on your income every year to pay for long-term care. It's not enough, okay?
Yeah.
But that really snowballed the whole insurance industry in Washington to see if they can get people qualified for long-term care. So most of them were selling life insurance policies with long-term care riders on them, okay? And I had a bunch of my buddies give me quotes. I went to 3 of them, and the average was $650 a month.
For long-term care?
For long-term care.
It's just expensive.
Yeah, no kidding. So I asked them to, hey, well, give me a life insurance with long-term care rider on it. It's still $600.
Oh, man.
So, because you need enough long-term care to make it work, 2-3 years, right?
Right.
So, the new home equity conversion mortgage is 62 with enough equity. There's $200,000-$300,000 in a line of credit that I can use for long-term care. So think about that.
Okay.
Yeah. When you hit that age, if you haven't built up your portfolio, don't have long-term care, blah blah blah, it's a way to use your equity, and it's tax-free. Take the money out tax-free.
I like tax-free.
Me too. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's kind of wrap this up here. The few things I did tell you we do, because it's more fun when I don't. We do, do you have a dad joke?
No.
No dad jokes. Okay. I don't have one prepped either. And we usually do a shout out, right? Just kind of somebody that you feel like maybe deserves to be shouted out and just told that, you appreciate them. You have any of that?
Yep, I've got one. Greg and Beth, shout out to you. Their son's in a coma, and they're going to pull the plug and harvest the organs. So shout out to those guys.
Okay, well, taking the terrible situation and at least turning some good out of it.
Yep.
That's
pretty sad.
Yeah, that's hard. Yeah, that is really hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's shaking your boots.
Yeah, that was pretty deep there. I wanted to just shout out. I'm going to shout out my coach, Ramona Locken. She's been really doing a lot for me lately, and kind of just pushing me to do more than I've been doing, and kind of pulling me through this bit of a rough patch in my life. So I just wanted to do that.
Cool.
So again, this is a Psychotic Strength podcast. This is the 18th of September, and it's Tyler Toby Townsend
and Michael Standard.
Thank you.
Bye now.